Erev Tov Kibbutz Yotvata. Good morning in Yellowstone National Park. Greetings, everyone. My name is Wayne Firestone. On behalf of all my friends and colleagues at the American Israel Friendship League, it's great to be back with you. And we've been doing these webinars now twice a week, trying to get as many as we can in before the coming high holidays for many, and a little bit of a break that we're going to have on the programming. What better way to sort of send you off into fall and the beginning of the Jewish New Year with a little bit of alignment or realignment, body, mind alignment for the new year, and to talk about balance. So I want to throw out a question to the audience before we jump in with Becky and get our real instruction today. But I wanted everyone to give some thought to anyone who you've come across who you really admire because of their balance. Now, this could be an athlete, or it could be a historical figure, it could be a fictional figure if you want. But it could be your aunt or uncle or brother or a teacher or a coach that you've had, an instructor, but someone who, when you think about, wow, that person really has a lot of balance. And I'll throw out a first image. It comes from Frishman Beach in Tel Aviv. And there is this iconic statue of David Ben-Gurion standing on his head doing a yoga pose, which he was very famous for doing on his porch. And I remember when I first read about Ben-Gurion, how really he had a lot to balance at the time. And it occurred to me that when you can figure out how to get your mind and body in balance, maybe you can then share that in other disciplines as well. So I'm hearing people putting forth some political figures and some people referring to their coaches. So everyone, you sort of know it when you see it, right? People who balance between work and home and family and their own passions, their physical needs, their emotional needs, their intellectual needs, all these kind of balances. Now, Becky comes to us with, like a more than an amateur's understanding as an Olympian for Israel. A competitor at a global level who, as a gymnast, who had to do balance. So before we get into what we can do at home, Becky, tell us a little bit about like some of the most challenging balancing acts, maybe up on the beam, or other things that you had to do as a gymnast that have taught you now how to share with others balance, things that came from your own training.
Oh, my biggest challenge was my mount on beam, which I was always afraid of. I don't even know why I didn't just change it and do something more simple. But I would always say, if I pass that, I'm good to go.
Well,
there are a lot of factors
obviously
leading towards it, and
yes.
if you get one thing off.
All right, so you're not going to make anyone do the balancing beam today, right?
No.
And even though you have this beautiful gym behind you, which I know you put together and is very close to home, but pretty much everything you do in these sessions with us are things that everyone can do at home. And so the idea of today's class, by focusing on balance, are all things that, yes, some people who go to classes or have training that they're able to take advantage of, but pretty much everything you're going to cover today are things that people can make part of their daily practice from their own homes, right?
Yes, definitely. I think when I was young, the balance was, of course, more focused on the beam and stuff like that. And you see how the gymnasts sort of fight their way. If they're off balance, they'll move around and wave and try to get back. And, so that's like the acute part, when you're sort of young. But as we grow up, we start gaining more factors that can be a little bit more dangerous for us, actually, if we start losing our balance. And the thing is that losing the balance is not something that is supposed to deteriorate over age. Okay, the thing is that it will happen the less we practice. Okay, so causes might be muscle weakness, actual balance trouble that we might have in our steps, okay, walking impairments, sight, okay, so if we have problems with our sight, we might be losing some some of our vision as to what we're stepping on, where we're going. Even hearing loss and problems within our ear. So our vestibular system sits within our ear. So that's something that can, of course, deteriorate over time. Even starting at the age of 40, people actually go to the doctor concerning dizziness, even more than lower back pain. That's one of the major causes of consulting a doctor, because of dizziness. And there are ways to treat it. There's special physical therapy that can help us deal with it. It's not always fun, but it can really, really help. But there are also ways to work on it, even just at home. So that, and together with the combination of the actual body reacting on time to a specific cause of misbalance, is also a great factor that we can work on. So again, it's something that we should really work on and maintain throughout our life. So again, I can see young people, 30 years old, even less, who have trouble standing on one foot, or, if we close our eyes, for example, that's something that can really disturb us. So again, it's the vision and the impairment of the vision that can affect us. And again, it's mostly a matter of practice. And there can be also some neural causes which can affect our sensory system on our feet, for example. And that's something that might be harder to deal with. But again, the more we try and activate it and at least use the other systems revolving the balance, the safer we are.
Great.
And learning how to respond to different imbalances is very, very important.
That's a great framing for today's class, and really a entree to why you're doing it and why everyone, regardless of their age,
definitely
needs to begin to practice. So let's jump into things, and looking forward to your session.
Great. Okay. So as I said, I asked to bring a chair. I didn't bring a chair. I brought, this can be like a stool, but I'd recommend a chair. Whoever might have trouble sitting down and getting up, because this is a little bit low. I'll bring it a bit further back now. I also asked for a little bowl, or it can even be a toilet paper roll that's still closed, because you don't want the paper flying all over the place. And then for those who are a bit more advanced, the stability cushion is, of course, wonderful. Okay, so we're gonna start with some basic, just sensory healing. Okay, so we're just gonna stand on both our feet, okay, hip width apart, and try to get your toes moving. Okay, can you see? Yeah. So just try to feel how the floor sort of accepts your the step of your foot, okay? And lift up your toes in the beginning and try to spread them out, really stretch them out, and then really try to grasp the floor with your toes, okay? So you're really imprinting your feet into the floor, okay? And feel how stable you just feel by doing such a thing, okay? And lift it up again. So you see how the wide toes can also increase the base that you're standing on, okay? And the wide base is always easier for balance, okay? So again, we want a nice wide base on our feet, open it up, spread, and then place it down and really sink into the floor with your toes, okay? Try to lean forward a little bit, and backwards a little bit, okay? So I'm tilting forward and backward. You see, so the thing with balance is just like we talked about life, right? You want to somehow get everything in, but how do you do it? You don't have too much of one thing, right? So I don't want to go too much forward, right? Because then I'll fall forward, okay? So this is if I want to stay centered. So the first part in the body that reacts is actually the ankle, okay? So if I go forward and back, you sort of feel how the ankles flex, okay? Or sort of point forward, okay? You also feel how the center of the body works, right? As I go back, I feel the front line of my body. And again, forward and back. Okay, next thing is I will lift up the outer part of the foot on one side and the inner part of the foot on the other side. So I'm tilting my ankles from one side to the other. Okay, now this is something that's very important because we can also just stumble upon a stone, okay? And there are two options. We can either stumble and fall or just stumble and bounce back up and keep walking. Okay, so again, this is the reaction of our body to something that might have come across. Okay, so again, tilt your feet from one side to the other, so we're getting a stretch and a bit of a tightening of the muscles surrounding our ankles. Okay, so we're tilting from side to side. A little bit more of this. Okay, and now we're going to try and turn it into a circle. Okay, so I'm lifting up, going through the side, lifting up the heels, going through the inner and outer side of the feet. Okay, I'm sort of drawing a circle here, warming this up. It can also be nice to do with a little ball underneath the feet, a small one. And then the other side. The other way around. Okay. Okay. So again, as I said, this is the first reaction. Okay, we got the ankles controlling these little things that we might stumble upon. The next reaction would be our hips. Okay, so again, you see a girl landing on the beam and she's going woo and going side to side, front and back. Okay, so we do want to find a good range of motion within our hips. Okay, so we'll pull a little bit back and forth and back and forth and a few more times. Nice. Okay, and from side to side and side to side. So again, just think of yourself somewhere in the street and you see something across and you want to go. So you need this action, okay, of your hips, okay? So we can take it around and back, around and back, around and back, around, back, and one more time, and there we go. Okay, and the next thing would be is a step. Okay, So we're gonna stand on one leg, okay? This is just a preparation for what we're gonna do, okay? So we're gonna stand on one leg, and you can even practice with a friend who might throw a ball to you or distract you in some way. And what do you do then, okay? So again, you've got your ankle responding, so we can start warming up. Oh, you see? Okay, I'm trying to sort of get out of this balance. And then if it's a big whoop, then I would fall onto the free leg, okay? And then come back and try to stabilize myself, okay? So again, you're sort of wiggling and moving and distracted. Someone's calling you from there. Up, you fall to the other side, okay? So we're gonna just try and get ourselves, and the lower we go, whoop, and the stronger, the harder we push, okay? We got more of the effect, both for the pushing leg and for the stabilizing leg, okay? So let's do a few of these. And again, you can always choose how hard you go, how far you go, okay? So again, we'll just do, let's say about 10 of these, down and up. Try to balance, and down and up. Try to balance, okay? Up, whoop. Now, it's okay to start thinking about what you are doing with your body, okay? So you see, I got off balance, I came back, I was over, I pushed myself too much, so I got this little step over here in my ankle, okay? So try to figure that out within yourself. And then, okay, I'm back on the spot, I'm moving my hips, okay? And up, take a step and come back, okay? If I push too hard, woo, I might go back, okay? So we're just sort of teasing ourselves. At the same time, we're getting the workout, okay, which we need, okay? Because another thing that does occur over time with our age is the loss of bone density and muscle, okay, muscle tone. So of course, this is so important for us, okay? We're gonna change legs. So again, we're trying to balance, got something going on, and boom, you fall to one side, try to catch it, okay? Boom, fall to a different side, try to catch it. And another one, up. Ooh, I have to go beyond these balls and the stability cushion. And up, how's it going, Wayne? Getting a workout?
Yeah, and falling now and then, but
You're able to get up?
yeah, this is a good one.
Okay, and you see, we do it in all kinds of angles because you really never know what will happen, okay? So that's another thing, building up your confidence, because once one falls, as a result of this dizziness, then it's very likely to fall again. So what happens is that we start, walking around slightly less confidence in ourselves about what I can do. Okay, so after we got a bit of a workout here, we're gonna now work on decreasing the space that we're standing on, okay, the base that we're standing on, okay? Plus, the whole subject of the sensory system, okay, without the use of the visual part, okay? So let's say we're standing, okay, and we're gonna close our eyes. Okay, so now let's go back to the beginning of the class and just feel how your feet, okay, are grasping the floor. Okay, you can take a deep breath, lower the heart rate a little bit. Inhale, exhale. Let's do some leaning forward, just like we did before. And straight, and then lean back. And straight. Okay, and then we'll tilt to one side. and back. Okay, so this wasn't very hard, right? See what happens if you put your feet very, very close together. Okay, might be okay. So in the beginning, we see where we are, and then we'll close our eyes. Okay. Try to lift your arms to the side and maybe a little bit higher. Okay, so we're actually lifting our center of gravity, which might make it a little bit harder. Okay, and lowering the base that we're standing on. Okay, decreasing the base. Okay, see how you feel with this, with your eyes closed. Okay, if we're okay with this, we're gonna try standing in tandem. Okay, so tandem means one foot is in front of the other. Okay, now let's just do the same thing. Okay, so we're standing, we're feeling the base with our feet, and then we're just gonna close our eyes. See how you feel now. I want to hear how many people are feeling fine and natural, and how many people are starting to feel a little bit shaky. Somebody should give me an answer about this. Okay, I know how I'm feeling, a little bit shaky. Okay, so the first part of my foot that I feel is just the ankles trying to, okay, wiggle and find that base. Okay, it's a little bit hard. Okay, try to do it with your arms to the side, and then with your arms up. See how you feel. How do you feel, Wayne?
Definitely shaky, and I'm peeking at the chat at least one others. But if some people don't want to type and shake at the same time.
Let's try to do it on the other foot, because there might be a difference between our feet. Okay, so we're standing in tandem, toe to heel. You see some response there. Okay, and suddenly the whole visual system shuts off. Okay, so I have to depend on my somatosensory system, okay, what I feel and how my muscles and joints respond to the feeling, okay? And they have to respond. Okay, and again, I'll take the arms to the side and up and just try to check that feeling, okay? Great. Now we can do the same thing with one foot, okay? So let's just lift one foot, okay? And for some people, this might just be enough. Now, the thing is that when we work on our balance, we try not to use any assisting, a wall or a chair, okay? Because we want to focus on the balance. And once I even touch my finger on something, the other systems will shut, okay? So it's very important to do what you can do, okay? Push it to your maximum without doing anything dangerous, without taking any risk, but still challenge yourself, okay? Because if you don't challenge, your body won't adapt. And the happy thing about this whole thing is that our body does know how to adapt. Okay, so you see, I've been just standing on one foot and talking. My focus, which is something else that we can talk about soon, didn't really change, right? I was just talking into the camera. But again, if I will close my eyes, suddenly things are going to change. Now, again, I have practiced this. Still, I can start feeling much more in my ankle, my foot, okay, responding to this issue, okay, loss of sight. Okay, so just try and even see how long you can stand like this, if you can at all. Now, I have people that take my classes and they, of course, hate working on balance. Let's change legs if you feel like we need to. Okay, so I'll just tell you the story. I have a woman who's really, really scared of falling. She does not want to get injured. Of course, I don't want to get injured. So what do we do when we're trying to push it over here? I have to prepare this person, right? I have to give her the confidence, okay, that she's going to be all right. So first of all, okay, we're here. We're not jumping off anything too high, okay? We would like to maybe, but not now. We're safe. And we have to learn how to respond. So the response is just what we did before, right? So, okay, so if I lost my balance, I can just put my foot down, okay? So again, I'm trying to get my legs tired, okay, to get the muscles working. But I have to be prepared to something that might happen to me on the road, okay, or in my house. Many falls occur at home, okay? So again, I'm trying to challenge it myself as much as I can. So again, we're closing our eyes, trying to stand on one foot. Okay, we can play with the hands a little bit. Okay, and see how we feel. You see, I am a little bit shaky today. Okay, and relax. Okay. So as I said, we want to learn how to respond, okay? So we started working with the ankles a little bit, and now we're going to do it with one foot, okay? So we're just going to take a walk, okay, from side to side, okay, between our heels and the front of our foot. So I'm moving my foot and I'm moving my hip and I'm rotating, which is actually part of walking, okay? And balanced walking also consists of this rotation, okay? So I'm actually also doing something else for myself besides work on balance, okay? So this is one thing that we want to do, okay? And now just try and swing your body from side to side on one foot and see what happens, okay? Swing and back. This is not exactly the classical Pilates class, I know. But it's very important, okay? And then we can start swinging our leg front and back, because again, we talked about the hip mobility, that's so important. And at the same time, we're definitely working on the strength on the supporting leg, okay? And it can be sideways, kick side and across. Okay, this is also the dynamic workout we also need. Okay, woo. And we'll go to the other leg. Okay, so we stood there and we closed our eyes before. So we're not going to do it for long now. And again, we're going to take a little walk, okay, on one foot. Because again, this is the first response. Are there any questions there? I can see, but I can't read them. Okay. So we got some of this. Okay, and then we're going to start swinging our legs back and forth. Nice, and also you can let your arms swing opposite, okay, to the front leg. And then across. And I'm always trying to stay on that one foot. And yes, try to get it tired and worked, okay? Beautiful. Woo, how is that? Okay, so another thing that we need to talk about is our focus, okay? So, you know, you're walking on the street and then suddenly, you know, a car will go by or one of those electric scooters or whatever, and you're sort of, woo, kicked away, and you might lose your balance just because of that, okay? So what we want to do is try and keep our eye focus no matter what we're doing, okay? So a simple way to start would be to take your thumb in the front, okay? And you can start in a position that, again, is a little bit off the wide base that we know, okay? You can close your legs, or you can do it in tandem, separate the tandem, okay? Or on one leg. And you're always trying to keep the focus. Now, this is something not very easy. So I'm looking at my thumb all the time, and I will start rotating my head, Okay, so you try and do it very slowly in the beginning. Okay, and you see that you're not shifting your gaze together with the rotation of the head. Okay, so I'm staring just at the thumb. Okay, so this is keeping the focus. Now we can try and increase the rate, the rhythm, sorry. Okay, now we can try and do it on one foot. See how that works. Or in tandem. So you also get a bit of a, oh, you see, off balance. And just as you're doing it, try to feel what's happening there with your ankles, your feet, okay? Now I am talking and snapping and rotating my head. So for me, it's another thing that I'm working on, which is the cognitive part of this. Let's continue maybe with the other leg. And instead of going side to side, okay, we're gonna go up and down with our head, okay? So we are really working on the vestibular system here, okay? Not going in depth into this, but not enough time. Okay, so, or you can put your hands like this in parallel, and you're gonna lift your head up, try to look, and lower your head down again. And if you see that one stance is easy, then you move on to the next, okay? So you can stand with 2 feet together and go up and down, and make sure that your eyes are staying focused. Down, up, and down, okay? So I'll take one leg back. So along with something like this, you could actually be asked mathematical questions, okay? Or, I don't know, if you know a different language, practice a new language doing this. Okay, so you're trying to add that extra cognitive factor here, because again, this is a synchronization between our mind and our response, okay? So again, well, if I'm teaching a class and I have to work on my balance and then look at this girl and that girl and tell them what to do. So again, I'm training myself for this. So again, there's always something that you can do to increase the difficulty, okay? So again, we're working on the focus now, and now I'll do it a little bit more dynamically, okay? So what we're gonna do is start walking, okay? So we go back and forth over here, or you can do it in any other place, and try to just focus forward, okay? Focus at a point in the front, but then we will make hopefully sudden half turn, okay? So we're gonna take a couple steps and whoop, and try to find another point of focus, okay? Immediately, okay? So look ahead, find that spot, and then look behind you, find a different spot, okay? And you decide that you wanna look at that spot that's behind you as you turn, okay? So you can take a couple steps, and whoop, and you got the focus, okay? And take a few other steps and whoop, turn around, you got the focus, okay? So that's another thing that you can work on. And I always think about ballet and ballerinas at this point, who do, right, tens and tens of pirouettes and nothing happens to them. And that's because they maintain their focus, okay? So of course you can, add a full rotation, okay? And keep going, okay? And walk, 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 and add a full rotation and keep going, okay? So these are also things that, okay, you can definitely work on at home, okay? Now, we'll continue with this dynamic stabilization. Just walking across a room, again, I don't have the space in the camera, but starting to, throw this ball, maybe from one hand to another. So what are we doing here? We're changing our focus as we walk, hopefully in a straight line. I don't have a straight line here, so I'm just walking in different places, but you can actually choose one straight line along your house, okay? And start working on this, throwing the ball, okay? And then you can take smaller steps, again, heel to toe, okay? And try to work on that. And of course, you can add all kinds of variations here. Oh, I lost it. Okay. Okay, so this makes it much harder. Am I going too fast? Are we okay with this? Okay, so these are all kinds of things that we can do. Another thing would be changing the way we're going, okay? So let's start by just throwing the ball and catching. And now, again, you can play this with a friend or a kid or someone. And then you actually want to throw the ball to a different place every time, okay? So I'll start throwing it to the left and throwing it to the side, throwing it to the other side, okay? And I might be throwing it too far forward so that I have to take this step. Ooh. Okay. What is that? Loss of balance and the response. Okay. So I'm throwing it and catching it. Okay. Of course, the farther I throw it, okay, the more steps I will have to take. Okay. So again, you can do this with the toilet paper roll, big ball, small ball, heavy ball, any ball. Okay. And another slightly more advanced thing would be to throw the ball, take a step back, and then catch it. Okay. So let's throw the ball, take a step back, and then go back and catch it. Okay. And again, the further I throw it, again, I have a wall here, so a ceiling here, so it might bounce back onto me. Okay. But again, I'm going to throw it, take a step back, and then forward. Okay. So I'm also working on the speed. Okay. Because I have to catch the ball. Going back and forth. Okay, throwing, going back and forth. Go back and forth. Okay, back and forth. Okay, so we've got a lot of these fun dynamic games that can be done. And then we will also work on just getting up, okay, and down from a chair. So we'll start by the simple, workout. Okay, so we're gonna sit on the chair. We can move a little bit back, forward, and get up. So this is a lower seat. There are also tests, okay, that teach us a little bit about whether we are strong enough to prevent falling. Okay, so there you can look up the sit down and get up test. Okay, so we want to try and manage as many as we can in 30 seconds. Okay, and there are tables that show us where we stand. Okay, so this can be very, very fast. Okay, again, quick response. Okay. 9, 10, okay, and then we're gonna use the ball. Okay, so again, you can have someone throw it at you or yourself. Okay, so let's start just by throwing the ball. Okay, good. Okay, and then, oh, I threw it too far, so I'm gonna have to get up for that. Okay, and maybe take a step. Okay, so again, throwing it and getting up for the ball. How's it going, guys? And up. Okay. Things that we can do. And one more time. Okay. And as we talked a little bit about the sensory system, see, these stability cushions have these little spikes. So if there is a slight loss in the sensory system, then often we won't feel our feet. It can happen even with diabetes and neuropathies. So I recommend using a ball or even your hand and just seeing what you can feel with your foot. Okay, so that's just one little thing we can do with this cushion. Okay, one foot and the other. And then actually it's almost this whole workout that we've done so far. We will try and use a cushion, okay? And we'll just see what the difference is. Okay, so of course, if you don't have it, we might want to find one. And if not, then it's also good to just work on the floor and, just use all those different distractions that we talked about, okay? But here, you see, we can also just, first of all, work on stabilizing yourself here and already seeing that it's okay to sort of drift out of equilibrium, and then pull yourself back, okay? That's working the core, actually, okay? Trying to stay stable, but I know that it's not going to be there forever, okay? And therefore, I have to respond, okay? And then after doing that and after stabilizing, I can also, again, reduce the whole visual part of this balance and stability and see how my body responds, okay? So this is a little bit tougher. And just to close your eyes here and see, woo, there you go. Okay, and then suddenly you really feel the body responding, okay? The legs and the abs, okay? And the ankles and everything. Hips, a little bit. Okay, so this is much, much harder, a very much higher level. Okay, and of course, if I'm doing this and I'm at any risk, then yes, I would stand next to something, okay? Because this is something much more advanced and you don't want to, of course, fall. But again, always be prepared to just take that little step and then you're fine. Okay, so even that would be okay. Now, we can also, of course, work on one foot here and make your foot rotate, okay, in all different directions. So we're really strengthening now, really every part of the foot and the leg and the body, okay. And then if we use the other leg to get us off balance and see how the body responds, okay, to this, okay, and just try to keep yourself centered, okay, and back. And let's go back to that falling thing that we did right in the beginning. So I'm going to just drop my foot and try to get right back on there and find the balance, okay. And again, I'll go different angle and go back up and forward and back up. Whoop, there, didn't catch myself, okay. And one more time. And stable, and let's do the other leg. So again, we're just gonna stand there, try to feel the center. Go back a bit so you can see the foot. And then just start activating the ankle, making these rotating motions. And again, different positions of your arms can also make a big difference. See? Okay. I'm just trying to combine all these things together. And again, we'll take the leg forward. It can be bent, it can be straightened, sideways, and back. Okay, and again, the faster we go, the more challenging it would be. Until we fall, but we catch ourselves and we push back. Okay, and again, fall and catch. And fall and catch. Okay, 2 more times. And again. Okay, good job. Now again, this is a Pilates class. So we're gonna work on our balance also in different positions. Okay. So let's just warm up our wrists a little bit. Okay, because we've really done enough on our feet. Okay, and we've got other parts of the body that can use some work. So of course our core is always helpful in just pulling us back in. Okay, so what we're going to do is just work on the X arm and leg at this point. So we're going to start by just lifting one arm. Of course, the body is nice and straight. And as you close your legs together, again, this will make it a little bit tougher. Okay, so just even lifting one arm and then the other. Keeping your back nice and straight, elongation. The posture is also important. 1, 2. And you can bring your arm to the side, see what happens, see how the weight shifts between the legs. And the other hand, up and to the side. And straight. And back. Now we'll pull one leg out behind us. Just try to stay there a little bit. And then see what happens when we pull it to the side. You know how the hips usually try to pull us away from, so that we are centered by weight, but we do want to activate the muscles. So we will try and pull ourselves. You can even bend your knee if you need. We're going to try and pull ourselves through our muscles, okay, to keep the center. Okay, so I'll just even turn backwards just so you see this. The first response would be, whoop, shifting the weight. So I want to bring myself back to the center. You see, I'm pulling myself behind the bent knee, the knee that's lifted, okay, and not the hips. Okay, and you see there's a great difference in the center. And now we're going to do the X arm and leg. So we're pulling up our left arm and our right leg, or the opposite, whatever you started with. Okay, and just try to stay here and maintain this stability. Okay, and for a few seconds, we can bring both of them sideways. And again, just feel the center. Feel how you want to shift to the side, but you don't because you're pulling yourself back to the knee. Okay, and just stay there for a while. And then maybe try to see what happens if you move the leg. Maybe circles. And reverse. Okay. How are you doing? And we'll do the other leg. Okay, so we're lifting it backwards. Nice and straight. Okay, just feel how the body is, whether you're shifting the weight already or not. Try to pull into the center. You'll feel your obliques working. Press into the ground with your arms. Also here, you can try and feel the difference between the arms already. And then bring the leg to the side. So I'll do it like this. Okay, so again, try not to lean into the opposite hip of the lifted leg. Stay here. And we'll bring it back and straighten the arm and the opposite leg, or the opposite arm to the leg. It's already up. And just stay there for a while. Right, and to the side. You can bend the knee. Try to keep yourself there. And then try to move your leg and see what happens. And it doesn't matter what happens. The more important thing is that you respond. Okay, so we're drawing these circles with the knee. And there we go. Good job. You can just stretch from side to side. Again, this is also hip mobility. There you go. Okay, and a few more Pilates balance movements. Okay, so we're gonna try and work a little bit on the teaser. So the only thing that we're sitting on really is our sit bones. Okay, so let's try and find them first. I'm grabbing onto my legs here, tilting my pelvis forward and lengthening up first. Okay, and then I'll roll just back a little bit. And again, up. And then up. And now I'm not going to roll back. I'm just going to tilt back a little bit. Okay, now we can let go of the arms and lift up one leg. Okay, and then we can try and add the other leg. Okay, so again, we're trying to keep our balance here. Not so bad on the floor. Wait till we put the cushion underneath. Okay, we play here a little bit with the legs. They can be straight or bent, depending on the difficulty you're looking for. You can also play with the arms. Okay, so I can be moving one arm or the other. See how you respond. Okay, and again, the knees can be bent. Lift, lower. So if I'm doing it symmetrically, much easier, right? If I start moving asymmetrically, there's something else going on there. Okay. Nice. And of course, that was no problem. You can try and work with some extra fun. Okay. So just being here, even with the legs on the floor, is a bit of a workout. Okay, so just even trying to play with the wobbliness. Okay, and then maybe lift one leg and change and lift the other. And who wants to try two legs? Woo. Okay, so again, obviously we're gonna be kicked out of our center, but the whole point is learning how to bring it back. Okay, so it's just the response of the body. Okay, again, playing with one hand. Suddenly my legs are shooting out. Okay, to keep the position here. Okay, so these are things we can definitely play with. Okay, let's just give a bit of a stretch, which is also a bit of a balance thing. Okay, so we're gonna kneel and just bring our hips forward a little bit, okay, because we work the hip flexors now. And again, we're actually in pretty much a tandem position, which can also be a little bit tough, okay, to keep. So we're shifting forward and backward. If you need a little bit more help with the balance, then you can actually put your hands on the leg, okay? So we're shifting forward with the hips, get a nice stretch now. And back. And forward. And back. Okay, let's see if we can get up from this position. Okay, so we're flexing the back leg and just getting up. Okay, even these lunges here, okay, can be done with a focus, okay, or without. Okay, so you're looking in different directions and seeing what happens to the body. Okay, give a bit of a stretch here and change our legs. Go back down. We'll shift forward And point your toes at the beginning. And back. Try to keep your body nice and straight. And back. And flex. With hands, without hands. Okay. And a bit of a lunge here. Deep lunge, this can be very tough, so you can always work a little bit closer in the beginning, okay, with your legs. Just make sure your heel is up. And again, that requires the flexibility under the toes, okay? So it can be challenging. Okay, and give it a bit of a stretch. Relax your head. Take a deep breath. And we're gonna bring our legs together, our feet together. Okay, make sure your head is nice and sort of eased. And little by little, again, feel the feet planted into the ground and climb yourself back up all the way to the upright position. Hands up. Okay. So, I hope you enjoyed the class. I know it was a little bit of a fast one. How are we doing?
Well, the good news is that we don't have a lot of questions, and
No.
we definitely, because I think people paid attention to the focus part, which I think was certainly the very much part of the intention here. We're getting great reactions from people. Lots of people asked, a few people asked earlier, and lots of people are asking now about getting a recording. And my colleagues behind the scenes are happy to get all of these requests. All you have to do is send them an email, and afterwards we'll send you, as we do with all our sessions that we offer everybody for free. We actually we'll send you a video copy of this session. So if you want to practice anything, I also would advise you on our website. Becky's been doing this now with us for quite some time. So
3 years,
if you're new to the class, please make sure you check out on the AIFL website the prior classes, which we keep in a library, and as well as with our other episodes, which is a great segue for me to explain that we've got one more session for you coming up again in this twofer week, this coming Wednesday, which is September 13th. It's called Service with a Smile. We'll be looking at we're going to get a very rare insight into a special operations team of the Israel Defense Forces, who not only are doing amazing things to defend Israel, but are also helping some people in time of need with their special skill set. So we hope you'll come back on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. Then we're going to be off for a little while. I mentioned that before. Everybody's going to be doing their Pilates and working on their mind-body balance, so that when we come back, you'll be really ready for Becky's next class, as well as some of our foodie episodes. So we absolutely hope that you'll take advantage of this time of a couple of weeks. And just a quick program note that on September 27th, which is also a Wednesday, we'll be having a program with Ambassador Itamar Rabinovich and his new book that came out. He's the former president of Tel Aviv University. When I was a student at Tel Aviv, he was in that role. So we hope you'll come back, and he's just an incredible teacher, an incredible writer, an incredible diplomat, really a distinguished leader for Israel with his own sense of balance. So we hope you'll come back and join us for that after the holidays. And last program note, I would just say we have this amazing annual gala that we do in New York, the Partners for Democracy. This year, our honorees include the head of Israel Democracy Institute, Yochanan Plesner, who will be honored and will be there being interviewed by Tom Friedman, the New York Times journalist. We will, that's our Israeli honoree. Our American honoree, Bernie Marcus, the co-founder of Home Depot and the chairman of the Marcus Foundation, has done so much to support Israel, an Israeli institution supporting democracy. We hope you'll put that on your calendar. And for those of you that are able to be in New York or have friends in New York, and you'll pass the word on. So for now, we leave you on our last Sunday episode for a while. We hope you'll join us on one of the midweeks. And then after Acharei Chagim, as they say, after the holidays, we'll be returning more to our regular schedule and more Sunday sessions as well. So Becky, I'll take the opportunity now to wish you a Shana Tova, v'mituka, to you and your family. We thank you for all your help sending us into the holiday in a really meaningful way. And we'll look forward to resuming our series with you again later in the fall.
Thank you. Yeah, I see there's some questions about the online classes. So definitely just private message me through Facebook, through Instagram. I'm available. The class before this was also an online class. So really feel free to contact me.
And the gala, if I didn't mention it, November 27th at the Pierre Hotel in New York. It's a Monday after Thanksgiving, and we'll be sharing more information about that in the weeks leading up to the event. But temporarily, go ahead, put it on your calendar, let people know about it. We'll be sharing lots more in your inbox, in our newsletter, etc. Everybody, Shana Tova, have a safe and sweet and healthy new year.
Bye-bye, Wayne. Thank you.
Take care.